Okay, nobody wants to think about having to file bankruptcy, but sadly it does sometimes happen. And the last thing you want at this very vulnerable time is to not get the best advice possible. Bankruptcy attorney Aaron Epstein is back with us this morning because the truth is, I learned something from you just now, Aaron. There are classifications in every aspect of law for lawyers to get certified in their particular field.
That's right. There's actually 14 different certified specialists. You can be a civil litigation specialist. You can be a DUI specialist. You can be a personal injury lawyer specialist. So every type of law has specialization, just about. Probably not everyone, but at least 14 different disciplines. And so I happen to be a consumer bankruptcy specialist. That means I handle individuals and families who have financial problems. I don't get involved for the large part, I don't get involved in business cases. There are business bankruptcy certifications. So I've learned a lot about it. I started, let's say, in 1994. I've been practicing at that time about 14 years when they created the specialty. And so for 21 years, I've been board certified. And I'm not the only board certified bankruptcy lawyer in Chattanooga. There's actually 6 others. I checked this morning.
But that's what you want to look for, is someone who's board certified.
That's certainly one. I think that's a critical certification, critical criteria.
Okay.
And I hate to say it like that because I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, because I'm not the only one, but I would encourage you to seek out somebody who is board certified.
It's also a time when nobody wants to proudly say, hey, look, this is what I'm facing. So you want somebody who can be compassionate on the other side of that door, I would think, and not make you feel more guilty than perhaps you already feel.
Absolutely. I think, in fact, if you make a phone call and talk to the attorney, not just a staff member, talk to the attorney and just take his temperature. See how you feel. Do you really want to go commit 2 hours of your time, or maybe have a 5-year relationship if it's a Chapter 13 with somebody who doesn't make you feel comfortable from the get-go? I think it's huge. It's kind of like dating before you get married. So, you wouldn't just get married over the phone, I don't think.
You mentioned Chapter 13. I guess there are 2 classifications, right? Chapter 7 and Chapter 13?
That's right. And
so
the Reader's Digest version is a Chapter 13 is a bill consolidation. You include your debts in a repayment plan of 36 to 60 months. And Chapter 7 is more of a liquidation, where you eliminate certain debts and try to reaffirm or keep certain debts, like a house or a car. And each one of those, that is probably the threshold question when you first meet with an attorney. And a lot of people call me on the phone and say, well, I don't know whether I need a Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. And I'll say, well, I don't even know for sure if you need a bankruptcy. Let's talk. And so I don't presume that anybody needs it. Sometimes they do, and quite often I'm available to help them, but I don't like to practice law by phone.
Okay, but so people are getting their credit card statements in now from all their holiday shopping. Maybe their eyes are spinning a little bit because they're seeing these figures mount. At what point do you think people ought to call an attorney and just seek out some advice? Is there a general rule of thumb?
I think the rule of thumb, if there is one, is what's your tolerance for stress. Are you sleeping through the night?
Okay.
Probably not. Probably there's some insomnia there. And assuming that's not your normal state of sleep, that's one thing. Are you distracted to the point that you're not really functioning 100% at your own job? Are you feeling guilty about things that might affect your family? So I think that it should, it's easy for me to say it should be obvious, but it may not be. So I would probably judge whether you're able to live a normal life. It's kind of like I have some arthritis, and the doctor says, well, as long as you're okay, your hands aren't tingling, I'm not going to cut. And I go, good. I said, and by the way, speaking of doctors and cutting, I was going to allude to the fact that the board certification process really probably comes out of the historical nature of the doctors and the physicians being board certified. You would never, I would never, and you would never let a doctor operate on you that wasn't board certified.
Right.
And I don't think it's that much different with lawyers. I think you really need to have somebody who's got the credentials. And part of the reason for that is that means that they devoted a certain number of years and a certain percentage of their practice to doing nothing else.
And that certification is ongoing, so as the law changes, you have to be kept up to speed with that as well.
Not only that, the process of becoming recertified every 5 years requires 60 hours of continuing legal education within the last 36 months. Now, the normal non-board certified attorney in Tennessee, it was 12 years. December 16th, the Supreme Court raised that to 15 hours per year.
Okay.
But if you're getting board certified, at least in the bankruptcy world, you're talking about 20 hours a year for 3 years, and then the normal 15 for the other 2.
Okay, we got to go. The takeaway is, first, you don't have to feel embarrassed if this is happening to you. You're probably going to, but you have attorneys like Aaron who will guide you through the process. And then look for Aaron and the other 5 here in town who are board certified in bankruptcy specifically. That's all Aaron does and has been doing it for 21 plus years. You can find him on Cherry Street.
And moneyproblems.com.
Moneyproblems.com. The phone number is 752-3000. A man with a heart. Aaron, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, Julie.
We're back after this.
Credit problems can happen to anyone, and sometimes taking advantage of today's bankruptcy laws makes a lot of sense. We believe everyone deserves